بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده أما بعد. Most honorable elders, dear respected brothers, friends, mothers and sisters listening, the season that we are going through right now, we extensively remember Sayyiduna Ibrahim alayhi salam. Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam achieved such in his life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala based many foundations of this deen upon his creed and upon his actions. And one of those is one of the greatest pillars of Islam, which is the pillar of Hajj. And a person fulfills many rights within Hajj that Ibrahim alayhi salam and his family went through in their own lives. What Ibrahim alayhi salam went through and what his wife went through, Hajar alayhi salam, and what the son went through, Ismail alayhi salam, these all were decisions in their lives where they prioritized Allah's wishes and wants over their own. And that is something magnificent. That is something amazing. That is something very great. And to understand that, we only have to look into our lives and ask ourselves that when we've come across decisions in our life where we can choose to obey Allah or disobey Allah, then how many times have we succeeded in obeying Allah and how many times have we left disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And so simply put, just the Fajr Salah of today, the morning prayer of today, how many of us before the morning prayer, so in the night before we went to sleep, how many of us put the alarm on just to make an effort to wake up for the morning prayer today, the Fajr prayer? And then from amongst those who did put their alarm on to wake up for the morning prayer, how many of us, after hearing the alarm, actually got out of bed and said to ourselves, no, Allah wants me to get out of bed even though I've only had 4 hours of sleep, I am really tired, I've got work tomorrow, but still I'm going to get out of bed. You know, when winter comes, then the excuse is it's too cold to get out of bed, whereas we get a good 5-6 hours of sleep. Then when summer comes and it's hot and you can't actually fall asleep too well, and then shaitan puts the excuse in our mind, you know what, I've only had 4 hours sleep, so this is why I can't get out of bed. So in winter we have an excuse not to wake up for the morning prayer. In summer we make ourselves an excuse not to get up for the morning prayer. Then what are we waiting for? What do you want Allah to do? That we will be shaken and circumstances difficult will come upon us, and then we will be humbled, because of which we will wake up for the Fajr Salah in the morning. Meaning, if you're not appreciating the language of love from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then are you waiting for the whip? Is that what you want? Is that what we want? No, we want that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues being graceful upon us and continues being merciful upon us, and all our circumstances of our life continue going forward in harmony. We don't face any difficulty financially, we don't face any difficulty with our health, we don't face any difficulty with our family, with our friends. You know, that's what everybody wants, that they keep moving forward in harmony and nothing goes wrong. But in order for this worldly life to succeed in harmony, we have to carry out the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all times. At all times. And the season that we are going through, the season of Hajj, the life of Ibrahim alayhi salam is teaching us that when a person prioritizes the wish and command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he sacrifices his wish, his wants, his desires, his comfort, then not only does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them so much in the hereafter, but he grants them a legacy that continues for a very long time. A very long time, where people remember you for the good things that you did in your life. and they model you for the good things and the sacrifices you made in your life. And them modeling you and continuing your legacy becomes a means of reward coming back to you even after you pass away from this world. So your account of good deeds doesn't close by you passing away from this world. Rather, it continues in the forms of all those people that you inspired when you were alive and that you continue to inspire even after you pass away. But how does this happen? This happens when you uphold the commands of Allah and you crush your desires. You crush your wants. Shaykh Sa'di rahmatullahi alayhi would say that Jannah and paradise is just 2 steps away. The first step, you've got to put upon those desires which contradict the desires of the Creator. Those wants which contradict the wants of the Creator. So you've got to put your foot upon those wants, those desires and those wishes and those dreams. You've got to put foot upon them. You've got to stranglehold them. You've got to crush them. And then once you've done that, the next step you take will be in Jannah. So to achieve Jannah is very easy. Every time you come across a decision in your life where it's either I want against what Allah wants, all you've got to do is choose what Allah wants. And inshallah your next step will be in Jannah. Now for this, there are certain things to do. Because how can you gain strength to crush your desires for the desires, the wishes and the wants of the Creator? How can you get to that stage internally? How can you find that strength? So one of the many things is remembering death. Remembering that we have to die one day. Remembering that every time something goes wrong in our body, then that is a sign of change. And anything which is suspect to change will deteriorate, and anything which will deteriorate will one day come to an end. So if I've cut my finger whilst working in the kitchen, I've cut my finger and it started to bleed, which means I'm losing blood. This means that my health is being negatively impacted by something which has just happened right now. I've cut a finger. I'm losing blood. And that should remind us that one day there'll come a stage where not just the finger but my entire life will be taken away from me. It won't be this much blood, but everything within me will dry up. One day is going to come where just not my finger but my entire body is going to suffer. I'm going to have to leave this world. Remembering death abundantly. And I conclude that Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, once he asked Malakul Maut, because we're talking about him right now, it's the season of Hajj. So once he asked Malakul Maut, he asked the angel of death that show me your appearance when you approach to take the soul of such people whom have disobeyed the Creator. Show me your appearance. How do you come? What do you look like to those people who are passing away from this world having disobeyed Allah? So Malakul Maut said, please turn away. Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he turned away. And then the angel of death said, now look back at me. So Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam turned to look at Malakul Maut, and upon first sight he fainted. He fainted. Then when he gained his consciousness again, he exclaimed that if for the disobedient servant of Allah, if there was no other punishment for him but just seeing with his own eyes the appearance of the angel of death, this would be a sufficient punishment for him after death. He wouldn't need to have any other punishment. This in itself is such a great horror and such a great punishment. Just the vision of what angel of death looks like when it's approaching to take the souls of the disobedient people. So thinking of death will help us curb our temptations, the unlawful ones that we have. Curb those wishes, desires and dreams which are not in harmony with Islam and with the desires and wishes of Allah. It'll help us curb them, so therefore we can put one step upon them and the next step in Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us revive the legacy of Ibrahim alayhi salam. May Allah reward him abundantly on our behalf. What he has done for us, even coming before our time, is so great that we are indebted to him, and we continue to fulfill the rites of Hajj for this religion until the day of judgment. He's done so much for us. May Allah reward him abundantly, and may Allah help us live up to his legacy in our lives until we breathe our last. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala become pleased with us as he became pleased with him as well. And may he grant us the goodness of this world and the hereafter. آمين يا رب العالمين. سبحان الله بحمده سبحان الله العظيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Dear respected brothers, it was not pre-announced, but you are very fortunate to be here today for Jumu'ah, because today you will witness a person coming from out of Islam into Islam. Today we have Michael with us, whom in his journey of learning Islam, before he has even accepted the religion, some number of weeks before, he's already started to consume halal meat. And his knowledge only goes as wide as Tesco's. That halal meat is purchased from there, and he's very health conscious, and he loves lean meat and fat-free meat. So because he doesn't know where else he can find it, so for 1 week he has been only on the diet of fish for his proteins. So he's not even eating meat because he doesn't know where to source lean halal meat from. I'm just telling you these fine details just to tell you that someone who's not even yet come into the fold of Islam but is full desirous to come in, look at their sacrifices that they are making. Look at the sacrifices they are making. So I'd like to invite Michael, if he can kindly come forward and stand before us and take the Shahada.